Now we're going to multiply some functions. And so the way that we write it is f times g of x. And that's how we say it. We can say it as that or the product of f and g of x. And the way that we're going to take this product is we're going to use FOIL or something similar to FOIL. So we have FOIL for like a binomial times a binomial, and then we have like our modified versions of that. We just have to make sure that each term of the polynomial gets, the first one gets multiplied into the second one. Then we're going to combine our like terms. So we have our f of x and g of x again. We're going to multiply them together and write them out. So we have 3x plus 1 times the quantity x minus 2. When we FOIL it out, so we do first, then outside, then inside, and last, we get 3x squared minus 6x plus x minus 2. And that's going to give us 3x squared minus 5x minus 2 after we combine all of our like terms. So now we're going to find h times g of x, and we're going to go through that again. So we need to write it down. We have h, and we're going to multiply that by g of x, or g of t, minus 2t, and we're going to FOIL it out. 2t times t squared is t cubed, that's 2t cubed. 2t times negative 2t is going to be negative 4t squared. 4 times t squared is going to be positive 4t squared. And, whoops. And 4 times negative 2t is going to be positive 8t. We combine the like terms, you'll notice that this one will cancel out with that one, and we're going to end up with 2t to the cubed plus 8t. And that will be our final answer for this one. Now it's time for the quick check, not before. And we're going to just multiply the functions. So we're going to do it the same way that we've been doing it. And I'll let you pause and go through that. Finally, we're going to talk about dividing functions. So we have f divided by g of x. And now I'm going to just tell you right here that we're going to try and keep this as simple as possible for the time being, because these become really weird. And it's just, it's a little bit easier to keep your lives easier. So we can also, so we have the first way, we can also write it the second way, the f over g of x. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and simplify it if we can. If there's something super obvious, like there's x's, like there's a lot of x's, like every term in the numerator has an x and every term in the denominator has an x, we can cancel that out. Same thing if there's like everything is multiplied by 2 in the denominator and the numerator, then we can take that 2 out. So what we're going to do here is, here's our magical ones. We're going to do f over g of x, and we're just going to write it down. 3x plus 1 over x minus 2. Now we have to check the domain really quickly. We have to make sure that there's no point in here that we're going to be dividing by 0. The easiest way to do that is just say x minus 2 cannot equal to 0. So on here, we're going to add 2 to both sides, and then we're going to find out that x cannot be equal to 2. So we're going to say that in our domain check, that x cannot, absolutely cannot be equal to 2. Otherwise, we break this function. So we're going to do a division example really quickly here. Now what we want to do, oh, sorry about that. What we're going to want to do is we want to divide h of t by g of t. Or in this case, it's actually telling us to divide g of t by h of t. So we have to be really careful what we're doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to write g of t, that's of t. We're going to write that on the numerator, t squared minus 2t. And we're going to divide that by 2t plus 4. Now we're going to do 2 checks here. We're going to see if we can simplify anything. It doesn't look like we can simplify anything, because up here we have everything times by 2. If we had, or a t, if we had another t down here, we could do it, but since we don't, we can't. This is all divided by 2, but that's not divided by 2, so that wouldn't work right here. This isn't divided by 2, so that's not going to work. So we're going to leave that there. We also need to check the domain. So we need to make sure that this denominator is never equal to 0. And the way we do that is 2t plus 4 cannot equal to 0. and we'll solve this equation. So we have 2t cannot equal to negative 4, and then t cannot be equal to negative 2, which means the domain of this is that t cannot equal to negative 2. It can be any other number, it just cannot be negative 2 because then it breaks the function. Now we're going to do a quick check. What I want you to do is divide the functions, and then I want you to define the domain. So like we just did on the previous one, I want you to check and see if it breaks. If it does break, I want you to tell me where it does break. Or I'm going to let you handle this, pause the video, and then have a good time doing math.